Good morning, crafty peeps. Okay, so um, this is going to be a tutorial for a recipe album that I'm actually creating right now. I already have 4 pages done, so this will be 5 pages. And basically, this is going to be perfect for recipe cards. So, I mean, this is a recipe album. Um, but you can add some photos in, and I'll show you in a minute where you can do that. So basically I have a little pocket here. Um, Hold on one second. I think that for some odd reason my brightness is a little crazy. Okay. So these are your, I think they're 4 by 6, if I am thinking correctly. Yes, they are. So I got these from Hobby Lobby, and you can get these in white and craft color. The paper that I'm using on this particular album, this is going to be the Authentique Homestead album. I know that Tamara has made a tutorial for her Authentique album, and I am also doing one for mine. So they're a little bit different. Um, this album is going to be, the pages are 7.5 by 9. So you can fit a lot of your cards in here. So it is a larger size album, but I really wanted to make sure that you would be able to hold a lot of recipe cards. Um, Now, there was another crafter that had created something similar to this. Um, and I kind of like took off from hers, but hers was for an album that you would sew together. And I think her channel was Dreams, etc. She makes a lot of digital papers that are just absolutely beautiful, but I went ahead and made this where you could use it for a regular mini album type binding. So you also will have a pocket right here so that you can put in photos, or you would have your mat in there. Then you have this wonderful little like folder style pocket here. Then you have 2 little mini file folder pockets that will hold your cards, and will hold lots of those. Okay, and then I just love this little folder file tab look that she had come up with on her album. And then we have another pocket here. You can do some journaling here, and then you can put a photo here. So my thought was for your relatives that have made her favorite recipes or whatever, like my mom, I would put my mom's photo. I would slide it in here. These were the Maggie Home frames that I got from Tuesday Morning. This is from the sticker collection from Authentique. So, and you can get these papers at countrycraftcreations.com. Um, as you know, I'm her craftology kit coordinator, and so I do purchase a lot of papers from her. And when she told me about this, I fell in love immediately, and I was like, okay, I've got to make me some albums with this. But I'm doing this one for a swap. So anyway, needless to say, let's get started. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to show you. So I have the pocket on this side on one, and then on the next page, I went and put the pocket on this side. So, and then again, the next page, the pocket goes over on this side, and so on and so forth. Um, and then again, my last one is on the right. So my very last page that I'm going to create today, the pocket will be on the left. So you kind of have different ways of decorating your album. So first things first, you're going to need some papers that are 8.5 by 11. You're going to need your scoreboard. You're going to need your score tape, your bone folder, which I love this Score Pal board. It is really amazing because it also has the quarter measurements in here too. So, and the 1/8, which I love that. And it's clearly marked on there for your quarter, half, 3/4, 1 inch, etc. So you're going to, on your first page, you're going to take your 8.5 by 11 paper, and I've already scored mine, but I'm going to go ahead and reinforce that score line, and it's going to be 7.5 by 9. Okay. So you're going to need 5 pages at 7.5 by 9. Then you're going to take your next page, and this one is going to be 7.5 Okay, oh, sorry, 7.5. I'm going to score there. Okay, you're going to turn it. And you're going to score at the 1/2 inch. Okay. And then you're going to score at the 9.5. And I'm not sure why I didn't mention this, but you're going to need to score it at the 10. And you're going to cut it at 10. Okay. Sorry, I have my little directions written on the side. I don't know why I didn't mention that. Oh, I'm crazy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'm going to line it up. And I know a lot of people, like to trust their cutters and will line it without scoring it. And I've made so many mistakes that way, where it comes out crooked. And so I just don't trust that anymore. So I'm going to cut off at the 10-inch line. Okay. And then I'm going to flip this over because I want to redo my scores at the 9.5 just to make it fold easier, because this craft paper is pretty heavyweight and I don't want to struggle folding it and accidentally make it crooked. So then you're going to fold it over at this point. Okay. And then with your bone folder, mash it down. You're going to take your score tape. I'm going to move this out of the way real quick. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to put that one to the side. Okay. So now we have our next one is going to be our large pocket. No. You know what? Let me just do this in order because I'll get confused. Let me go ahead and cut this on my other one. I apologize, guys. I'm like, can get it together. So I'm going to cut it on my score line, and I didn't do it close enough. There we go. And then cut. Okay. So now they should measure up. I'm going to get out my score tape. And I like using my 1/8 inch, but you can use the 1/2 inch for this, since these are a 1/2 inch. Okay. I'm actually going to pull that one off because I didn't go over far enough. You are going to burnish your edges. So I'm going to do that in a minute. Let me go ahead and of course, when I'm doing a video, I can't find my little edges. Okay. What did I do with my bone folder? Here it is. And then I'm going to cut off these little extra edges here. Whoops. I'm just flinging stuff around this morning, let me tell you. I'm going to move my trash can out a little bit. Okay. So then I'm going to take my paper, and for me, it's easier for me to do it like this. Now, as you can see, my paper automatically, if you can kind of see it on here, it is kind of rolling up. So I'm going to go ahead and face it down. I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to burnish in my edges real good. And then before I take off my score tape, I'm going to make sure that it lines up good. For me, I want to go ahead and cut off a little bit of this just to hide those little edges. And then I'm going to fold it onto the other one. And I'm actually going to line up my edge from here and slowly work my way over so that it is perfectly straight. And this is just what works best for me. I don't know what works better for you, but I like to make sure that mine is really even because I hate remaking mine. Okay, and then you're going to burnish your edges again. And so now you have your matte page, okay? So then I'm going to go ahead and make my long pocket flap, okay? And this one is going to be, I'm going to use my brown cardstock, which I've already got this cut because I've already made several pages, but it should be cut at the 10-inch line. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, here we go. So it's 3.5 by 10 inches, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and score at the 3.5. Okay. And then I'm going to score at the 3-inch line. Okay. And I'm going to cut off this extra piece, right? But before I do that, I want to go ahead and score at the 1/2-inch line for my pocket. And then the 9.5 inch. Okay. And sorry, I'm going to go ahead and redo my score lines right there. I don't want to have to fight with it. Because again, this is a pretty heavy cardstock. Which Tamara does sell colored heavy cardstock too. I think it's Cartabella's, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so then I have this little square here on the ends. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't really matter. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pre-fold it. Get it going. Remember to fold on the mountain high. Okay. Now I'm going to get my score tape out again, and I'm going to go ahead and get that prepared. Going right up to the edge. Now I'm going to do this one pretty thick because it's a pocket and there's going to be a lot of use and a lot of tugging on the pocket. So, or like I said, you can use your 1/2-inch score tape. I'm going to go ahead and burnish this edge in real quick. Cut off my excess. Finishing those edges. And then I'm going to do it on this side too. Now you're not going to attach this to your page yet, but you are going to have it ready for you. Finish those edges, cut off the excess, and again on the other. Okay. Sorry. Okay, now you're going to put that to the side with your other stuff. Now, we're going to make your small file folder pockets. So you're going to need one 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and on the 8.5 and 11 side, you're going to score at you're going to score at the 1/2 inch. Sorry, so you can see it on camera. The 1/2 inch. Six and 3/4. Okay. And then 7 1/4. Okay, I'm going to flip it over and again reinforce my score lines. Because again, heavy duty cardstock. Then I'm going to switch it to the 11-inch side. And then I'm going to score at 4 3/8, which is just right under the 1/2 inch line. Okay. And then I'm going to score at 4 7/8, which is right under the 5 inch line. Okay. Then I'm going to score at the 6 inch. And then I'm going to score at 6 5/8, which is right after the 1/2 inch line. Okay. And then I'm going to cut. I'm going to turn it back over to this side, and I'm going to cut it at the 7 1/4 inch line, because that's my excess paper and I don't need it. Okay. Then I'm going to cut it at the 4 7/8 inch line. And then I'm going to cut it at the 6 5/8 inch line. Let's see if I'm telling you right that. I don't want to lie. Hold on. So you're going to cut it at the 6 inch line. My bad. Okay. There. So now you should have two pockets there. So now you can fold your lines. Burnish your edges. Again, you can cut off your little excess right here. I just find it easier to cut it off, then your pocket isn't all bunched up at this end, and makes it lay down smoother. Okay. Sorry, let me get this out of the way. I did that the wrong way. Let me flip it up this way. Okay. There. So now they should look something like this. Now you're going to get your envelope album punch board. This is how I do my file folder tabs, and actually Tamara taught me this. So you're going to punch with your envelope punch on this end. You're going to have this folded in. You're going to go to 2 3/4, okay, and punch. Now that's on this one, okay. So then on your opposite one, I want you to take it on this side and do the same thing. So you're going to go to your 2 3/4 inch line. My paper is folded over. Now my envelopes will have the tabs on opposite sides. I'm going to get my cutter here. So I'm going to cut off the longer edge. Okay. So I'm going to line it up to where my cutter would cut right there. I don't know if you can see this, but you probably can't because my camera won't show it. But basically, right here where this little knob is, I want you to cut off this end, okay? So cut off the long end. There you go. So now it's going to look something like that. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this end. See? Okay. Now let me get all this extra paper out of the way. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and cut these off like this at an angle. And you'll see why I'm going to do that in just a minute. I can actually take this one and just cut it right across like that. And then right across like that. If you don't do that step, when you're trying to use your envelope punch again, it's going to be way too hard to cut into it because this paper is thick. Okay. So, move this out of the way. Get out my envelope punch. I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to have to stand up and do this because that's the only way I can see better. And I'm going to fold this in. And I'm going to punch. Fold it in. Punch. And so on. And so forth. So now I have my little mini file folder. Okay. Yeah, it gets hard. Okay. Now I'm going to leave my envelope punch board up here because I'm actually going to make another flap. And this one is going to be, I'm not sure why I didn't. Give me one second. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I figured out what I did here. Okay, so you're going to need 5 pages at 7 7/8 by 8 7/8. So on the 8.5 by 11 side, you're going to score it at the 7 7/8 side. And then you are going to score it at the 8 7/8 side. So just right under the 9. Okay. And then you are going to cut those off. Ignore my little line that I have here for this time being, because I'm going to show you a little easier way than how I did it just now. Okay, so you are going to cut off that extra edge and then cut on the 7 7/8 side. Okay, sorry, it's not lining up right. Okay. Then, I've already done it, but you would put your paper back on the scoreboard and then score it at the 1/2 inch line. And again, I'm going to flip it over and still score it on that same side because I just want to reinforce it. Okay. Then you're going to take your score tape and you are going to put it on there. Again, since this is going to be a well-used page, not that not all of them aren't, but especially the swing pages, you want to make sure that you have enough tape down. Okay. Now I'm going to burnish in my edges, cut off the excess. Okay. Then again, I'm going to take my file folder page. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and round my edges. Okay. Like so. And then I want to make sure I'm doing this right because I did not write it down for some odd, crazy reason. So basically what I would do is I'm going to let me measure it where I did this because I don't know. Okay, so apparently what I did was I took the edge. I know this sounds crazy that I would not remember this, but I did it at the, looks like the 3-inch line. Okay, so let me see how my last page is. That was my first one. So on this one, I'm going to do it on this side. And then, again, I'm going to cut off that excess long one. And then there you have it. So now at this point, you would go ahead and ink all your edges if you're going to ink your edges, which I am on every page. And then I will be back.